everyone. Hope you are all doing fine. Okay, so we'll start the topic. We were discussing the classification of colloids, that is the third classification, which is based on the size of the dispersed phase, isn't it? So in the size of the dispersed phase, we have seen three types. One is macromolecular colloids, second is multimolecular colloids, and the third is associated colloids. Okay, we have discussed the other two, that is macromolecular and the multimolecular. Now today we will see what is about associated colloids. Okay, associated colloids are also called as Michels. Okay, now in associated colloids, you know, certain substances at low concentration behaves as normal electrolytes. Okay, behaves as normal electrolytes. You know what is an electrolyte, right? That means it dissociates in solution. The best example I have told you is NaCl. NaCl means it will form Na plus and Cl minus. That means it forms into corresponding ions. That is the main thing. Okay, so that means normally it's a true solution, like true solution, ionic solution. Okay, so at low concentration, some certain substances will behave as normal electrolyte. That means Na plus and Cl minus, or whatever the electrolyte is, it is like that only at low concentration. But if the concentration is increased or at high concentration, these substances behaves as colloidal substances. See? That means low concentration, it acts as a normal electrolyte or ionic solution. But at higher concentration, or when the concentration is increased, it shows the behavior of colloidal solution. That means what? It is getting associated, or aggregates are formed due to this higher concentration. Which means at lower concentration, it exists as individual ions. Okay, it exists as individual ions, and as the concentration is increased, what happens? It aggregates to form a colloid, or it is called as association of colloids. Okay, maybe if you take for example the surface active agents, that means surfactants. What is surfactants? Surfactants is called as surface active agents, which is nothing but the detergents and soap. This comes under this colloids, that is associated colloids. Okay, that means at higher concentration, the substances shows colloidal behavior, which means they form nothing but Michels. See, they form colloidal, which is called as aggregation of molecules, which forms what? Which forms the Michel. Isn't it? So you know what is a Michel. Okay, we will come to that. So the example for this is surface active agents like soap and synthetic detergents. Okay, so when we talk about high concentration, that means we said colloids are formed, that is in the form of Michels. That means aggregate colloids or association of colloids. Okay, now what is this high concentration means, or when will this substance behave as colloids? Okay, that means this substance behaves as colloids only above a particular concentration. See, below that concentration, it exists as individual ions or strong electrolyte. But above that particular concentration, see, above that particular concentration, which is called as critical molar, it is called as CMC, that is critical molar concentration. Okay, critical molar concentration, and if the temperature is above some value, which is called as Kraft temperature. 2 points to remember. That means a substance will show the behavior as colloids if the concentration is more than the critical molar concentration and the temperature is above a particular temperature which is called as Kraft temperature, which you represented it as Tk. Got the point? So that means only at that concentration or higher than that concentration this behaves as colloids, or at that particular temperature or above that particular temperature which you called as a Kraft temperature, these substances behaves as colloids. Now you got it? And the example for such a associated colloid is soap as well as synthetic detergents. Okay, examples are soap as well as synthetic detergents. Okay, and for example the CMC, what is CMC? Sorry, not molar. I was wondering why I wrote molar. Critical Michel concentration, because Michel is forming. If you want that Michel to be formed, it must be above the critical Michel concentration. Then only the Michel will form. Okay, so it is critical Michel concentration, not molar. Okay, so critical Michel concentration. So CMC is critical Michel concentration, and the temperature is above Kraft temperature, that is Tk. Then only an aggregation or Michel is formed. And the CMC of soap is approximately equal to the range of 10 raised to minus 3 to, 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3 mole per liter. Molarity. 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3. Okay. Now one more thing important is, okay, you got a Michel. Correct. That means so many molecules are aggregated or associated to form that particular Michel. Now, if that Michel is diluted more, or if you add water more, what will happen? It will form to individual ions, or the Michel will break and it forms individual ions. Got it? And a Michel is somewhat, if you say 100 molecules will make one Michel. Okay, like that, so many Michels will be there in the solution. Okay, so this is about what? Associated colloids. Okay, what is that? Associated colloid means at low concentration, certain substances behave as normal electrolytes, that is as ionic solutions. Okay, now at higher concentrations, they behave as colloids, that is they form aggregate to form Michels. Okay, now if a Michel has to happen, then it must be above some particular temperature and concentration. And the temperature is called as Kraft temperature, and the concentration is called as critical Michel concentration, CMC. Okay, so only above this particular temperature and concentration, the Michel formation or the colloidal formation will happen. Okay, and the examples are soap and synthetic detergents, which are called as surfactants. Okay. Then the concentration of this Michel, the critical Michel concentration of the soap is 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3 mole per liter. And again, on dilution of these Michels, it gets destroyed and form the individual ions. Okay, so this is about this associated colloids. Now we will take one example of an associated colloid which you call it as soap. Okay, now we will see more about soap. And you know what is a soap? How will you define a soap? A soap is nothing but sodium or potassium salt of fatty acids or carboxylic acid, isn't it? Sodium or potassium salt of higher fatty acids are called as soap. Now, if we give an example of a soap, or in most soaps, you will get sodium stearate as the component. Okay, what is it? Sodium stearate. Sodium stearate. Okay, the formula is C17H35COONA. This is called as sodium stearate. So in most of these bar soaps and all, you will get this sodium stearate as the component. So we will deal with this today. And you know, what is it? This is minus and this is plus, which means this has got two ends. The mechanism I am trying to tell. That is, if it is C17H35CONA, if I write like this, this much part is called as the hydrophobic part, isn't it? Hydrophobic part, and this is called as hydrophilic part. Hydrophilic part. Okay. That is, this is hydrophobic part and this is the hydrophilic part. If I draw like this, see 17, you have to check it whether it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, 17. So here it is C double bond O, O minus, correct? And this is CH3, you know, CH3, CH2, 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 17 times. Okay, CH2 is 16 times and then the last is COO. Okay, so this much portion is the hydrophobic part, organic part, and this is the hydrophilic part, which we call it as, this is head and this is the tail. Isn't it? This is the head and you will draw it like this. See? This is the head part and this is the tail part. Head part is the hydrophilic. That is, what is hydrophilic? Water loving. Isn't it? Now what is hydrophobic? Water hating. Or you can either say as hydrocarbon means it is dirt loving or oil loving. You can say. Okay. So this is the structure of this soap. Okay. Now in sodium stearate you have one hydrophilic part and hydrophobic part. Then what will we do? When the mechanism is, see how the Michel formation, I will explain to you. Okay, I will rub this. Now what happens is, at the initial stage, you got this idea, right? At the initial stage, see here it is a water, correct? And at low concentration, listen, at low concentration, what will be the structure? If this is the structure I am drawing here, it will be like this. See? It will be like this. Why? Why? Because this is the hydrophilic part, isn't it? This is the hydrophilic head part. The head part will be inside the water and the tail part will be outside the water because it is water hating. So it will be outside the water. Okay. Now this is at low concentration. Now if you add this soap, what will happen? When it attains the critical Michel concentration, listen, when this solution attains the critical Michel concentration, what will happen then? Then the concentration is high, isn't it? So it cannot exist as individual ions. This is again an ion, anion, isn't it? So it can't exist as individual ions. So what will happen is, these soap particles, individual particles, it will pull into the water. Okay, it will pull into the water and then it will form a Michel. See, only at the critical Michel concentration is attained, then these ions or these individual ions of sodium stearate will pull into the solution and then it forms what? Then it forms a Michel in the solution. See how the Michel is formed? You know the Michel. Okay. How the Michel is formed? How the head part, the head part will protrude outwards. That means what? Here only the hydrocarbon part is there. And the water is not allowed to enter into that part. That is why it forms a Michel where the hydrophilic part, see the minus part will protrude outwards. It repels outwards or repels from the water. And the hydrocarbon part will be into the circle side, forming a Michel. You got the mechanism. That means at low concentration it exists as individual ions, the stearate ion. Then once it attained the higher concentration or the CMC is attained, then these will pull into the solution and then it will form a Michel. And how that is formed? The hydrocarbon part is on the inside and the hydrophilic part is outside. So thereby a Michelle is formed. Normally Michelle is formed by more than 100 ions, or 100 molecules. Okay, ions, okay. So more than 100 molecules make a Michelle. And this type of Michelle is called as ionic Michelle. Okay, because it is ions, isn't it? And so many Michelles will be formed there. This is only one group. Another group will be formed here. So these two Michelles does not come in contact with each other. Why? Because of this ion-ion repulsion, isn't it? This Michelle has got outer surface negative ion. The second Michelle has also got the outer surface negative ion. So the negative ion gets repulsed. That is why it is stable in nature, because it is not settling down, isn't it? Due to this ionic repulsion, it is having that always that movement. That is why these colloids are stable, isn't it? So that is why. So this is about this mechanism of this Michelle formation. So the very important point is only at CMC what happens? The Michelle happens, and also only at the Kraft temperature. Isn't it? You know, when the surf is put inside and if you put your hands into it, you will have a warm feeling, isn't it? That is exothermic reaction. Okay. So only at these two CMC and Kraft temperature, the Michelle happens. So this is the mechanism. Okay. Now going to the cleansing action of soap that you know, you have studied earlier. How the cleansing action of soap takes place? You know a Michelle is formed, right? Now where this Michelle is formed? In the dirt particle. See, the dirt particle surrounds the Michelle, or the Michelle is formed around the dirt particles, or the dust particle or the grease particle. And what happens? You know, this is a hydrocarbon part. The grease is also hydrocarbon in nature, organic in nature. So what it has? Light, always light dissolves in lights, isn't it? So this hydrocarbon part dissolves this grease, and on rinsing it with water, more and more water, the dirt gets washed away, isn't it? So that is the cleansing action of the soap. So this is about the associated colloids or Michelle. So keep in mind the critical Michelle concentration, then Kraft temperature, then the mechanism, how the Michelles are formed. Normally more than 1000 molecules make a Michelle. Then this is called as an ionic Michelle. The Michelles and Michelles goes on ionic repulsion. Okay, it will show a Tyndall effect. Yes, it will show a Tyndall effect. Then it's an example of an emulsion, isn't it? It's an example of emulsion. So these are the something to tell about associated colloids. Okay, hope you understood it, because already you know what is a soap. It is nothing but the sodium or potassium salt of higher fatty acids. And example we have taken it as sodium stearate. Okay, so hope. And detergent also the same thing. If you take a detergent, for example, sodium lauryl sulfate. Sodium lauryl sulfate. Okay, that is CH3, CH2 11 times, SO4 minus Na plus. Okay, so this is again an example of a detergent. So detergent also will form what? Michelle only above the CMC and TK, or Kraft temperature and critical Michelle concentration. Okay, so that's all about the associated colloids. Okay, hope you understood. Okay, now going to the next topic, that is, so now here it comes the end of what? Here it comes the end of the classification of colloids. Okay, now we will pass on to the preparation of colloids. Okay, how a colloid can be prepared. Okay, so we will now see the preparation of colloids. Okay, how the colloids are prepared. Preparation. You have to study 3 preparations. First one is chemical methods. By chemical methods, how you will prepare colloids. Okay, and second method is by Bredick's arc method. Okay, or Bredick's arc or dispersion method. What is it? Dispersion method. Okay, Bredick's arc method or dispersion method. And the third is peptization. So these are the 3 methods of preparation of colloids. One is chemical method, and in the chemical method you can have 4 types. One is oxidation, then second is reduction, then third is hydrolysis, and fourth is double decomposition. See? So, in so many ways you can prepare a colloid. So, mainly 3 methods, that is chemical method, then Braddix or disintegration method, that is dispersion and condensation, both will be there. So, Braddix or disintegration method, and third is baptization method. Now, we will see first the chemical method. Okay, how will you prepare colloids by a chemical method? Okay, just you want to know only the chemical equation. Okay, you are not going into further details, just how it happens, that's all. So, first is chemical methods. Okay. I told you in chemical methods there are again subdivided into 4. Now, in the first case you would say it is double decomposition. You will see double decomposition. Okay, you will see double decomposition. Just to study the reaction, that's all. Okay, in double decomposition you will form arsenic sulfate ore. Or in order to prepare arsenic sulfate salt, we will have this double decomposition reaction. Okay, see how it goes. You take AS2O3, that is arsenic oxide, plus H2S will give you, in the arrow you have to write double decomposition. Otherwise you don't know. This is same as double displacement. What will happen? Here and here. So it will form AS2S3. Okay, plus H2O, correct? AS2S3, so it is 3. Okay, now 6H2O, 3H2O. So this is the first chemical method. Okay, first chemical method, that is double decomposition to form or to obtain what? Arsenic sulfate ore. Okay, AS2S3. In fact, this is a negative colloid that we will study later. Charge, the charge will be negative, so it's a negative colloid. Okay, so this is the preparation of arsenic sulfide ore by means of double decomposition, which comes under chemical method. Okay, understood? Now, the second method is oxidation. Okay, oxidation. Normally, oxidation is used to sulfide ore. What is it? Sulfide ore. Mainly oxidation is used to make sulfide ore. Now how it goes? See, SO2 plus H2S, okay, will give you, this is oxidation, yes, oxidation will give you, you will get the sulfide ore plus H2O. See? Okay, so just balance it, you will get this. So this is the sulfur salt. So but the oxidation of sulfur dioxide plus hydrogen sulfide, on oxidation you will get the sulfur salt. So if a question comes in the board exam, write a chemical method by which you can obtain sulfur salt, or you can obtain a arsenic sulfate salt, or a gold salt, okay, or a silver salt, etc. Okay, so these are the 2 methods, chemical methods by which you can obtain arsenic sulfate salt, which is a negative colloid, and a sulfur salt. Okay. Now the third is, there are 4 methods, right, in the chemical preparation, 4 methods. The next is, hope you got it, next is reduction. So double decomposition, oxidation, next is reduction. Now how reduction comes? Reduction means in order to obtain gold salt. See, the reduction process, you can obtain what? Gold salt. So if a question particularly comes, how will you prepare? So you can get this reaction. Okay. So gold salt, how will you prepare? You have to take this auric chloride, AuCl3. Listen, AuCl3 plus formaldehyde. What is formaldehyde? Methanol, HCHO plus water. Just balance it, okay? If you're not balancing it, you will get gold salt means you will get Au. See, you have to write like this, salt. And what is here? Reduction. You just put reduction here. So, auric chloride on reduction using methanol in presence of water, you will get gold salt plus this is reducing means what? It itself get oxidized. So it will form formic acid or methanoic acid plus HCl. See, this is the reaction. If you find it difficult, you just write down and study. Then you will clear it. Okay. So this is about the reduction process of preparing gold soap. Understood? Okay. Now the last reaction is, so we have finished what? We have finished the chemical method is double decomposition, then oxidation, double decomposition for what? Preparation of which salt? Arsenic sulfate salt. Now oxidation is for which salt? Sulfur salt. Then this reduction is for gold salt. And one more, the last reaction is hydrolysis. Okay, the last reaction is hydrolysis. So you got this? Okay. Now, what about hydrolysis? Hydrolysis means in water, right? Hydrolysis to preparation of ferric hydroxide salt. See, for the preparation of ferric hydroxide salt, what you will take? Ferric chloride plus simply water. Okay, then in arrow you put hydrolysis. That's it. Hydrolysis, you will get FeOH thrice. Just balance it. Okay. So these are the 4 methods which comes under the chemical methods. Okay, just write it and study, then you will be able to pick up. That's all. Simple reactions. Okay. So these are the 4 reactions comes under the chemical methods. How to prepare the colloid solution. We have prepared gold salt, sulfur salt, iron, that is ferric hydroxide salt, then 3, okay, it is 3, ferric hydroxide salt, then arsenic sulfide salt. So 4 salts you prepared. Okay. Next is 3 methods. That is, next method is what? Bradig's arc disintegration method. What is it? Bradig's arc disintegration method. Okay. Now we will see. It's also very simple. That is Bredig. That is this name. Bredig arc. Okay. Arc disintegration method. Disintegration method. Okay. Which means this method is mainly based on 2 things. That's the very point. This method is basically based on 2 things. One is dispersion, that means disintegration. Dispersion, and second is condensation. See, in this method, these 2 things happens. That is dispersion as well as condensation. Normally what happens, sometimes dispersion only happens for making a perfect colloid. Otherwise condensation happens making a perfect colloid. For example, in the multimolecular colloid, it coming together, no. Okay, so that is it. But in some cases, disintegration happens. That is, a large molecule disintegrate to form smaller ones. Or sometimes smaller molecules come closer to form a larger molecule. But in this case, both happen. Dispersion as well as condensation happens. So this is a small experiment to prove. See how and this is mainly for preparing noble gas colloids. That means platinum, silver, gold, etc. Noble gas metals are there. So in order to prepare their salts, mainly the noble metals, we use this Bredig arc disintegration method. Okay. Now we will see what happens or how you can prepare this gold. Gold is also we have seen in the chemical method by using reduction. Okay, using methanol. Okay. Now here, see, if you want silver or platinum salt or gold salt, whichever salt you want to, you take that metal as the electrode. Okay, that metal as the electrode. So if this is silver, this is taken as electrode. Silver electrodes are taken, and one it is in the positive, and then is the cathode and anode. Okay, then what happens? Then you take a dispersion medium. Okay, this is the dispersion medium. Dispersion medium means suitable solvent. Then only colloids will be formed. Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So you took a suitable dispersion medium. We are going to get the dispersed phase. See, Then you have to take, or this container is dipped in an ice bath. Ice bath means what? You got it, for the condensation, to make the temperature suddenly low. That is, this is ice bath. Okay. Now what happens is, listen, you apply an electric arc by applying this voltage. An electric arc is struck between these two electrodes. Listen carefully. What happens is, an electric arc, by means of this connection, you get an electric arc between these two electrodes, and what happens? These electrodes, due to this high voltage, what happens? This forms, or this disintegrates, or it forms as vapors. It will form vapors. So here an arc will be struck between these two electrodes, then it becomes vapor. Okay, as soon as it becomes vapor, since it is immersed in ice bath, what will happen? It will form small size, which is in the particles in the colloidal range or colloidal range. Understood? So dispersion first happens. That means the two platinum metals are struck between this. Then what happens? Then this will disintegrate to form small vapors. It forms vapors, and then this vapors is condensed to get the respective salt. Okay. Now if I say, see, if I want silver, the silver rods, that is solid. Then by the electric arc, okay, the electric arc is applied and it will form silver gas or vapor state. Okay, then this vapor state, on cooling or condensation, it will form the silver salt or silver particles. So that dispersed phase is occurred. Then the dispersed phase with the dispersion medium will give you the colloidal solution. That is the silver salt you will get. Understood? So this is Bradig's or disintegration method. The two main points is both dispersion as well as condensation happens here, and mainly it is made for noble metals. Okay, noble metal salts like silver salt or gold salt or platinum salt. Now why we say dispersion happens? Because due to the electric arc which is struck between these two electrodes, this metal will become vaporizing. A small part of the metal will vaporize into gaseous phase. Then suddenly it is just immersed in the ice bath, it will condense. Isn't it? The small particle will get condensed and form in the colloidal range. The size will become in the colloidal range. That is condensation. So that is why we say this method is both dispersion as well as condensation takes place in this method. So are you clear? The Bradig's arc disintegration method. It is very simple, mainly for the noble metals. Okay. Now we will see the last preparation of colloids. Okay, what was the last method? Last method is peptization. What is it? Peptization. Okay, now we will see what is peptization. Okay, what is it? The third method is peptization. Okay. Now what is peptization, or how will you prepare a colloid or a salt by means of the method peptization? Okay. It is nothing but the conversion of a precipitate. You know a precipitate, right? You have seen precipitate also. Okay. So conversion of a precipitate, to be more precise, a freshly prepared precipitate into a colloid. This process of conversion of a precipitate into a colloid is called as peptization. Got it? Or you can say a precipitate, you have a precipitate, then you treat it with the corresponding suitable dispersion medium, water or any solvent, okay, and you add some electrolyte. That is the main point. You add some electrolyte, okay, then you will get a colloid or a salt. You can write salt also, okay, you can get salt. So how peptization occurs? That is the conversion of a precipitate into a colloid is called as what? Peptization. And how peptization is done? When this freshly prepared precipitate, when it is mixed with a suitable dispersion medium, in the presence of an electrolyte, and you know, whenever I say electrolyte, there must be some charged particles, okay, a plus and a minus charge, ionic compounds. Okay, so in the presence of an electrolyte, then salts or colloids are formed. And these electrolytes are called as peptizing agents. What is it? Peptizing agents. That means something which helps in peptization. That is called as peptizing agent. We call it as stabilizing agents, isn't it? That means the substance which stabilizes. Peptizing means something which peptizes means precipitation. The peptization happens in presence of electrolyte. Only in presence of electrolyte this peptization happens. Okay, so it's very simple. Peptization means conversion of a precipitate into colloid. In fact, a freshly prepared precipitate into colloid. Now, what is the mechanism? When a freshly prepared precipitate is taken with a suitable dispersion medium and in the presence of an electrolyte which acts as a peptizing agent, you will get a colloid. Okay. Now, if you see the mechanism, how this colloid is formed, you know, you are having a precipitate, correct? Precipitate is having a larger size. It's a larger insoluble substance is called as precipitate. So, it is having a size bigger than the colloid. Okay. Now, what happens? You are adding an electrolyte, isn't it? You are adding an electrolyte, and you know an electrolyte contains charged particles. Now, what happens? This precipitate, okay, this precipitate, it will absorb, you know, it will absorb either a negative charge, okay, either a negative charge or a precipitate can absorb a positive charge also. It won't absorb a plus and minus, no. Colloids have similar charges. If it is negative, everything is negative. That we will see. The charge absorption. Okay. So, this precipitate will absorb either of this charge to make it a charged precipitate. Now, what happens? Once it is getting charged, then this will break down. Okay. This will break down into smaller particles. See? Due to this charge on the absorbing charge of this precipitate will break down into smaller particles in the size of what? In the size of colloids. That is the range between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. See, what is the colloidal range? 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So, this is how peptization works. That means, once the precipitate, when electrolyte is added, it will absorb either of the charge, either a negative charge or a positive charge. So, by attaining the charge on the surface of the precipitate, it will break down into smaller particles within the colloidal size range. So, that is how peptization occurs. And electrolytes are called as peptizing agents. Okay. So, this is about the preparation of colloids. So, hope you understood the preparation. So, today we have studied about the associated colloids, that is a Michael. Then the preparation of colloids, that is preparation of colloid means 4 things, chemical methods. Under chemical methods, 4 subdivisions, double decomposition, then oxidation, then reduction and hydrolysis. Then second is about the Bradig's arc disintegration method. Okay, that is both, the value point is both dispersion as well as condensation takes place, and only for noble metals, for example gold, silver or platinum. And the last method is peptization. Peptization means directly converting the precipitate into a colloid in presence of electrolyte, which you call it as a peptizing agent to form a colloid. That is absorption of either a negative charge or a positive charge from the electrolyte. So, hope you understood. Okay, it is very simple, the preparation. Okay, now next class we will see, now today it's preparation, no? So next class we will see the purification of colloids. Okay. Now only two more things in colloids, like purification as well as the properties. Then we will get over the session. Okay. So tomorrow's session we will have, the next session we will have the purification of colloids. So till then, read the book thoroughly. Any doubt, get me, I'll clear it for you. Thank you.